In this Hobart travel guide, we're going to be uncovering South Hobart. We're going to check out the view from the top of Mount Wellington, visit the Cascade Brewery, and find amazing food spots you can't miss.
South Hobart is a charming suburb set at the base of Mount Wellington. It's known for its leafy streets, heritage cottages, and the iconic Cascades Brewery.
Here we are at the top of Kunanyi, or Mount Wellington. So it is such an awesome sight. You see, overlooking all of Hobart, it just looks amazing. And it feels pretty high up here. I believe you're over 1 kilometre above the city. And the really cool thing is that it is up to 10 degrees cooler here than it is down in Hobart. So make sure you dress appropriately. And if you're coming in winter, you're most likely to see snow on the mountain, which we have today. Now, it is also important in winter, if you are planning to visit, to check online to see whether the roads are closed, because early on in the morning, there is frost on the roads and it becomes quite dangerous, so it might be closed. Thankfully today, it's a beautiful day. It's probably about 6 degrees up here, but the views are well worth it. Behind me you can see the observation deck. It provides a bit of shelter from the conditions outside. It has some really interesting information about Mount Wellington and a bit of its history.
Be sure to climb to the top of the summit to feel like you're on top of the world.
There are plenty of walking tracks around the top of Mount Wellington to explore, from steep ascents through mountain forest, rocky alpine plateaus, and sweeping cliff edge lookouts like the Zigzag, Pinnacle and Organ Pipes trails. If you'd rather not drive up Mount Wellington, you can hop on the Kunanyi Mount Wellington Explorer bus. Services run from Franklin Wharf in Hobart about every 90 minutes, with 5 buses in each direction daily. And don't worry, there are public toilets at the summit.
Cascade Brewery is Australia's oldest brewery. Established in 1824, its historic sandstone buildings, lush gardens, and its view of Mount Wellington makes it a perfect spot for tourists and people wanting tastings, tours, and a relaxing afternoon.
There are multiple tasting tours each day and you get to explore rarely seen areas of the brewing facility and learn about the brewery's fascinating history as well as the art of beer making. The tour finishes with a tasting paddle of 4 Cascade beers in the Heritage Beer Garden, soaking up the view and ambience. If beer's not your thing, the historic tour is a relaxed alternative. A 60-minute stroll through the grounds filled with fascinating heritage stories.
The Cascade Female Factory is a haunting reminder of Tasmania's colonial past. So in this area, over 5,000 women were here as convicts over 30 years in the early 1800s. So they were subject to quite a brutal regime, and it's all documented in this museum.
The Cascade Female Factory is one of Tasmania's most significant historical sites, and it's part of the UNESCO World Heritage listed Australian convict sites.
Behind me is the baby wall. So it's a list of all the names of the babies who came here or were born here. And sadly, 70% of these babies died here.
After exploring the South Hobart attractions, it's time to switch gears and discover a different side of South Hobart, its vibrant food scene, where local cafes and restaurants showcase the flavours of Tasmania.
South Wine Bar is an awesome bar and restaurant in South Hobart that has a real focus on local Tasmanian ingredients. And Tasmania, I've just found out, is the only place in Australia where you can get wild wallaby. So there are licenses that the government issues because there is just an abundance of wallabies here. So while it is protected, a few different providers can shoot the wallabies wild, which means they're not farmed, they're all natural, and it's really low impact on the environment, really good for the environment, and it's a really healthy, lean meat as well. So what I'm really interested in, apart from the wallaby, is the really fresh and native Australian ingredients that we've got here. So we've got it in a pepperbush glaze, which is an Australian native ingredient. We've also got some pepperberry in the crumb, and we've got some saltbush here. And I don't think I've ever tried saltbush before, so I'm really intrigued as to what it tastes like. The presentation here is just beautiful. Now they say to just dig in and use your hands. There's no delicate way of eating it. You've just got to go for it. So I'm going to just get a bit and get into it. So this wallaby meat has been sous vide for 10 hours, so it's super tender and it just melts in your mouth. So if you look really closely, you can see it just really flakes and falls apart there. And then that pepperberry marinade is just so delicious. It's got a nice sweetness to it. It's rich, it's thick. And then the crumb as well, it's just really nicely battered and fried, and it's got a nice saltiness to it as well. And I haven't had saltbush before, so I'm really intrigued about this. So it's crisp, but then it's got a bit of a hardness to it. So you do need to kind of chew it a bit. It's got a pretty mild taste, I'd say, and kind of a herby flavour to it. So kind of like a thyme, I'd say. But this is a really beautiful, inventive dish, something that you can only find in Tasmania in Australia. To have a dish that just really celebrates native Australian ingredients is just simply fantastic.
Komatsu is a charming Japanese restaurant in South Hobart. They've got a tantalising array of Japanese dishes, sushi, sashimi, and mains. We've got a really pretty looking chirashi don. So it's a sushi bowl and it's got 3 different types of sushi in there. So there's salmon, tuna, prawn. There's also roe in there, avocado, scrambled egg, and more. So it's a really hearty looking dish and just so visually appealing. Just gonna grab some. This looks like tuna. Those fish pieces are just so fresh and tasty. I love all those fresh pieces of fish, and the brogue gives it a little bit of pop and saltiness. This dish was $23.50, and you get a really big serving size with plenty of fish, so I think it's great value. We've got some Japanese soft drinks here. So this is Calpis soda. I've never tried this before, but it's very popular in Japan. And I've also got a sparkling apple juice here too. So I'm gonna get into this Calpis soda. So I believe it's like a fermented milk. So it's gonna be very interesting and it's fizzy. So it's got quite a milky looking flavor and it's fizzy as well. Here goes. So it tastes very much like lemonade, so it's quite sweet. I can't get much of a milky taste, but I can imagine if you put some lemonade into a glass that had a little bit of milk in it, that's exactly what this would look like and taste like. Thinking about it a little bit more, it tastes a lot like Yakult. So it is a fermented drink, so I like to think it's quite healthy for you. Vanidols in South Hobart is a Hobart institution. So they've been around for over 35 years and they serve Southeast Asian fusion cuisine. We've come here for their most popular dish. This is Van's duck wrap. So it's a duck wrapped in a pancake. So there's also some veggies in there. There's some cucumber and lettuce and it's drizzled with a sweet sauce as well. This looks really yummy. This is just one delicious bite. The duck is really succulent and tender, and it's a little bit salty, but that saltiness is balanced really well by the dark sweet soy sauce that it's drizzled in. And you get a nice crunch from those vegetables. I forgot to mention before that you've also got some ginger to have it with as well. So for a little bit of extra kick and flavor, you can add the ginger in too. And finally, the pancake has been lightly fried and soft to bite into. And to wash down our duck pancakes, we've got some Frogmore Creek Riesling, 100% Tasmanian owned and really refreshing.
There with me is a really funky cafe in South Hobart, and you're just kind of on the base of Mount Wellington. You can see the mountain looming behind us, and they have a real passion for great coffee and great food here. And I really like their menu. It's got a bit of an Asian twist to it, a lot of hearty breakfast and lunch dishes, and we have the cygnet mushrooms. So Cygnet is a town in the Huon Valley. It's not too far from here. So I really love what they've done with this dish. So they've got the cygnet mushrooms in a macadamia pesto. You've got some crispy kale. This is crispy tapioca. So that looks really interesting. And then we've got a son-in-law egg, which is a hard-boiled egg that's done with tamarind. And then we've got a whipped tofu here and some nice thick pieces of sourdough toast. I'm just so excited to crack open this. Oh, that's nice runny yolk there. Get a bit of egg, a bit of mushroom. This is really tasty and it's got a real nice contrast of flavors and textures. It's got a nice umami flavour to it. The crispy kale is nice and salty and crispy. And I'll try some of this whipped tofu. That's really interesting. That whipped tofu has a really smooth texture to it, and it's got a bit of a sweetness to it, and you can definitely taste that soybean tofu taste. And the mushrooms are quite nice and earthy. They've got a bit of a chewiness to it, a bit of juiciness. And that egg is just so tasty. And then to round it out, you've got the crispiness of that nicely salted kale and the crispy tapioca as well. So this is such an inventive and tasty dish and a must try in South Hobart.
We explored Hobart with Alice Car Rental. We found the whole experience really seamless, from the friendly service to the easy pickup just minutes from Hobart Airport. If you're looking for a great value, no fuss way to experience Tasmania, click on the link in our video description. After exploring the history and charm of South Hobart, be sure to visit nearby Sandy Bay, a vibrant coastal suburb known for its beaches, dining and laid-back Tasmanian lifestyle.
Sandy Bay is to the south of the Hobart CBD. It's known for its waterfront location and popular beaches. It's also home to some of the most expensive real estate in Tasmania.
Sandy Bay's beaches, from Long Beach to Nutgrove and beyond, offer calm waters, golden sand and a relaxed coastal vibe just minutes from Hobart city centre. Each June, the suburb becomes a stage for Hobart's most infamous winter ritual, the Nude Solstice Swim, held on Long Beach as part of the Dark Mofo Festival. Thousands brave the icy waters at dawn to mark the shortest day of the year.
If you're craving authentic Indian and Nepalese flavours in Hobart, come to Chillies Indian and Nepalese restaurant in Sandy Bay. So they've got a wonderful menu with a lot of interesting dishes. We've got some of their entrees. We've got the Sikh kebab masala, and we've also got the aloo potato chops. So these look brilliant. The Sikh kebab masala came out sizzling hot, and it is a lamb dish that's been cooked in a tandoor, and it's got a satay sauce. This looks really interesting. I don't think I've had this before. I'll just squeeze some lemon on it. So you can see nice chunks of lamb there, and then you've got some capsicum, onion, a lot of spices and flavours. Get a mouthful. That is such a rich and flavourful dish. So the lamb has a little bit of a chew to it, but it's nice and tender, and it's got a nice bit of juiciness to it. And that sauce is just so rich. That is a really interesting flavour combination. It's kind of halfway between a satay and a tandoori sauce, and it's got a nice saltiness to it. We've chosen medium heat, so there's definitely a kick of heat to it, and it kind of develops over time as well. It's a very flavourful dish and a must-have if you're after Indian with a twist. These aloo chops really caught my eye. So aloo is potato, and you can see it's a nicely mashed potato, and then you've got a lot of spices in there. And then wrapped around it is a chickpea flour, and then it's all just deep fried. If you love your potato, this really hits the spot. I'd choose this over just potato chips any day because it's just got so much flavour in there. And it also comes with a mint raita as well, a yogurt mint dip. That mint raita is really nice and creamy, and it's definitely got that strong taste of mint. It goes really nicely with that potato. And if you're after a really tasty vegetarian option, this is a perfect dish. And this restaurant is a really great, affordable restaurant in Hobart. The aloo chops were $8.50 and the Sikh kebab masala was $17.90.
Now, we couldn't help ourselves. We saw gulab jamun on the menu and we had to go for it. So gulab jamun is a very popular dessert in India, Nepal, Pakistan, and even Sri Lanka. It's a milk dumpling just drenched in sugar syrup. And the sugar syrup's usually flavoured with cardamom as well, so it's just a really amazing decadent dessert. And what I really love is how that syrup is just infused through the whole dumpling. It is so tasty. So you can see inside that I think that's made with semolina, the dough. That is so good. It tastes a little bit like a donut, but just think of a donut just drenched in really nice sugary syrup. So decadent, so sweet, amazing. The dumpling's also created with ghee, so it gives it quite a nice buttery taste. I've had a lot of gulab jamun over the years. I would say that this has been one of the best I've had in a long time.
Our stay in Hobart was at the Salamanca Wharf Hotel. It was the perfect base for exploring Hobart. The apartment-style rooms had everything we needed, from a modern kitchen and spacious living area to thoughtful touches like premium toiletries and even a washer-dryer. We loved how comfortable it was to relax here after a day of sightseeing. Best of all, the location is unbeatable. Just a short stroll to the famous Salamanca markets, bars and restaurants. Salamanca Wharf Hotel also have a car stacker for guests if you have a car, which we found really handy. If you'd like to experience Salamanca Wharf Hotel for yourself, click the link in our video description. We'd like to give a big thanks to Salamanca Wharf Hotel and Alice Car Rental for partnering with us and making this video possible.
We hope you enjoyed our South Hobart travel guide. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and leave us a comment. In our next Tasmania travel guide, we're going to Salamanca Markets, a must-see for anyone visiting Hobart. So be sure to subscribe to follow us on our adventures. We are Bucket List Travellers. See you next time.